In the early 2000s, I co-wrote, directed, produced an indie film called The Good Thief. And it was a great experience. You know, I had just come off directing commercials for a local production company in Philadelphia for a number of years, which really was my film school. You know, I got to write, I got to direct, I got to edit, you know, obviously with an editor. But that was really like, sort of like my film school. And I loved it. I loved every aspect of that experience. And that led to doing The Good Thief. What's great about The Good Thief experience was that A, it was sort of my debut feature film, but B, I was able to take it from a script to investment, all the way through film festivals, all the way to distribution, which happened a couple years after that. It was picked up for worldwide distribution. You could find it on Netflix. You could buy it on Amazon. Things were great. It was good stuff. I took a bunch of meetings in LA with a couple agents, and the advice I got was, hey, RT, you just need to keep writing. Just start writing again, and eventually you'll move on to your second script, your second film. What happened was, not that what happened, but, you know, life gets in the way of a lot of your plans. And, you know, before we knew it, it was baby number 2 was on the way, and had to put my film endeavors, you know, to the side for a little bit while we continued raising our family. And I continued to write, and, you know, with some great collaborators. We wrote The Black Church, we wrote The Damned, we wrote The Red Church, we worked on Letters to Catherine. So we had 4 really, really great projects that we had written. And all the meantime, my career I went back to advertising as an art director, and you know that you're building that, you're trying to write, you're trying to do things, and you know, before you know it, like, time gets away from you, and you find yourself like, oh my gosh, like what am I gonna do, right? Because you're building a career, you're trying to build the stuff over here, you're writing all the time and doing that stuff, and that's where, you know, not where, but like Surfing in Afghanistan came in, because I had written these 4 or 5 scripts at the time, and we got to a point where we're like, you know what, these are really great scripts, but they weren't really things that I like. I liked The Black Church. It was a desert horror film, and that led to maybe Surfing in Afghanistan could be that script, because it started with a VW bus moving through a John Ford film, and we're like, hey, there's something there. So went off and wrote Surfing in Afghanistan. That was going to be the next film. That was going to be my next film. You know, people were saying, you need a film like Another Earth. And to me, Surfing in Afghanistan was that sort of that high concept film that was different. No one had seen before, blah, blah, blah. So you've seen me sort of pitch and talk about Surfing in Afghanistan for, I guess, the last couple years. It's gone through a lot of iterations, and I've changed things. I've made things a lot different than they were when I originally worked on it. I haven't touched it though since May or March, somewhere around there. Anyway, that's not the point of the story here. The point of the story is that, yeah, man, it's great to have a career you're building, you know, from an art director all the way to a creative director, and it's great to have scripts that you've sort of worked on that sort of mean something to you, and it's really part of who you are as a writer or a filmmaker. I did do a short film 2 years ago. But here's really the gag here. This is really the main point of the story, is that I have a hard time pushing forward with things. And what I realize now is that Surfing in Afghanistan is probably not going to be the film that I do next. I kind of have to start, and I hate to say this, but I kind of have to start from the beginning again. I have to start right with the 0 budgets, to the short film, to the feature, to the thing, to blah, 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 blah. And hopefully at that point, I eventually get back to possibly doing Surfing in Afghanistan. I mean, I have, for such a long time, have evaded that feeling that I have, is that, because I always thought Surfing in Afghanistan would be sort of the film that I would do next. But I get the feeling that it's going to have to be something a lot smaller, something more doable that I could build off of. I'm still going to push. I mean, I got a lot of great people talking about Surfing in Afghanistan. A couple actors right now, super involved, super excited about it. But at the end of the day, I think what I'd be fooling myself not to start from the beginning. Start from a 0 base. Start from a short film, and then work my way back to a feature again. And it's just something I've evaded. It's that I've haven't wanted to do, thinking that why would I waste my time doing a short film when I could be doing this? This is really what I'm going to be known for, blah blah blah. And I'm really just, I guess this video that I'm saying is really my sort of like understanding that it's up to me, man. It's my choice to go from where I'm at, with no films, with film potential, starting again back from scratch, starting back from zero. Because at the end of the day, I don't know, like that just feels more realistic to me than hoping I win the lottery and someone goes, yeah, man, I'm going to give you $1 million to go shoot surf in Afghanistan. That may happen, but what I've learned over the last couple years, well, more than the last couple years, but the advice that I have been given is that no one's going to come and save you and give you the money without you being in the mix, whether that's at meeting people at film festivals, whether that's meeting actors at film festivals. At the end of the day, the only way you get to make your next film isn't because you wrote it. It's because you've met people that have said, hey, what do you want to do next? And you have these things sort of ready to go. And because so much time has gone by since The Good Thief, kind of have to start from the beginning again. And that's really what I wanted to say today, is that I'm going to make a commitment to myself to start from scratch. And I've made a lot of mistakes over the years trying to do this, pining for someone's going to give me $1 million for Surf in Afghanistan or for any of the other films. And what I've neglected was it's really about the work. I say that here, in advertising, is that it's about the work. And the one thing I neglect is putting the time in to actually do the work that I need to do to put that part of my career back on track again. And then we'll see what happens. I mean, had a real good friend for a while. He would be telling me this advice, and for some reason I wouldn't be taking it. And that friend, unfortunately, because I can be super neurotic and sort of annoying at times, sort of walked away from my problems. And I get it. I can be super neurotic when it comes to who I am. I get it. I've made a lot of mistakes. I fucked up a bunch of times, and I'm trying to right some wrongs that I've done through my career. Not saying this is a mistake. I wouldn't have been able to get to where I'm at today, as a creative director, if I didn't make choices. But I'm the one that has something to learn about the choices that I need to make outside of this. And that's really my craft as a director, as a writer, and the things that I want to be able to get back to. And that starts with me. It doesn't start with any of you. It doesn't start with being the best networker. It really just starts with just making a film, a short film, making another one after that, and then another one and another one. That's really the path. There's no one waiting. And doesn't Mark Duplass say that? Mark Duplass says, like, Calvary's never coming, man. Like, it's up to you. And it has been up to me. And yeah, man, I get it. Like, I have to do lots of things. And I think I read something recently that said you have to have a lot of balls in the air juggling when it comes to all your projects. Whether it's your day job, whether it's the films you're working on, whether it's scripture writing, like, you always got to have multiple balls in the air. And that's really the thing that I am going to try to do a better job at, and not let my procrastination sort of dictate how I feel about the things I need to do. I can't keep looking at Surf in Afghanistan as a lottery, as like the golden ticket, like, oh, that's going to be the thing, because that might not be the thing. I may never get back to that script again until 15, 20 years from now. I mean, who knows? But I need to make a step forward today, and this video is sort of for me to recognize that I need to make that change myself, creatively, passionately, my goals when it comes to that. And again, hopefully some of you won't make that same mistake and really just get to making. I mean, you see me post that stuff all the time about the work we do in advertising. It's like make. And here I am not even taking my own advice. And that's really what I've recognized, is that sometimes the advice I dole out to people, I don't even take myself. Isn't that really how it always goes? Is that we never take our own advice that we give to other people because we try to give them sort of a chance to do better than us. And for me, I could talk about creativity all day long, but sometimes I don't take that advice. And it's super important for me, for all of you, to recognize that it's up to you. I mean, it's not up to the guy next to you. It's not up to one of your social media contacts. It's not up to any of that. It's really just up to each of us to take whatever it is that's inside of us. And that could be filmmaking, that could be poetry, that could be painting, that could be writing, that could be whatever it is that's stuck inside of you. It's up to us to take the first step to really find a way to crack that and put it back out into the world in the most authentic way possible. So for me, this is not authentic for me talking on camera about me. It's weird, but I wanted to say it, and I wanted to say that I get it, and that I need to start taking my own advice and the advice of some of my friends and some of the people I've read over the years. Like, again, not that Mark Duplass is my friend, but that dude's got some great advice when it comes to filmmaking and the la la land that I live in sometimes, where I try to make my situations better than they are, thinking that, again, the golden ticket of one script is going to be the thing that decides my fate, when it's really the little things that you do. Again, it could be whatever your craft is. You could be a photographer, you could be a writer, you could be an interior decorator, whatever that is. It's not about watching the YouTube videos. It's not about any of that stuff. It's not about anyone's advice but your own, and taking it and doing it and going off and making whatever it is that you should be doing. If not, you're going to bullshit your way through it. You're going to make excuses, because I have, and you're going to blame others. You're going to blame others for the choices that you made in your life, when it really just comes down to each one of us making the choices that best serve what it is that we want to do in the end. And you're either going to be brave to do it, or you're going to be a little bit of a puss and not do it because you're scared of what people are going to say, blah, blah, blah. But really, take that first step today. Whatever that first step is, whether it's a page of writing, whether it's a sentence of writing, whether it's brush marks on a canvas, whether it's one photo of your dog, whatever that is, just take that step today, and I'll be right there with you doing that. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say, and hopefully you stuck around all the way to the end of this, and we'll go from there. Cool. Have a great day. Bye.